everyone. I am back today, and today we're talking about, I forgot, let me look at what to look for in a man. So these are the green flags. All of the stuff that I'm sharing with you and more is shared in the modern day rotational dating course, which I have linked below. But I thought this would be useful for me to share here on YouTube as well. So you can start planning ahead and knowing, okay, well, what do I actually look for on these dates, right? Like, how do I know that this is a guy that's ready to get married, or this is a guy that's a provider versus someone who's not? There's usually a lot of talk on red flags, and I've done those videos as well, but I thought today we're going to focus on the green flags. So before I run through the list of things that we're looking for in men, and I'll give you my own case study and a couple of my clients as well on how this has worked for them, you need to perform 3 checks on yourself. Because if you don't pass these 3 checks, then anything I'm going to tell you is going to sound like gobbledygook, because you're going to be like, those kind of men exist? What? Right? Or wait, I can have that kind of a relationship? So these are the 3 checks. Number 1 check is, am I emotionally healthy enough to date? This is an important one. A lot of women appear emotionally healthy on the outside, but they start behaving like the lead role in a Lifetime movie the minute someone shows them a little bit of interest. If you guys remember, we don't watch these anymore, but remember back in the day, Lifetime movies, it was always the nanny that came in who turned psycho and started thinking that that was their family. And then when the wife or the husband would go investigate her past, she had burned down her house with her parents in it. You know that story. That's how a lot of women start acting when they're dating. So if you have a tendency to become really emotionally attached to a man on the first couple of dates, I've actually even had some students show up that kept referring to my man, or my boyfriend, only to find out they had never met this man. They had never even spoken to this man on the phone. They were just having a texting, good morning, good evening, how are you? Send me some pics kind of a situation. So, girl, you have to be honest with yourself. You might need a little bit of a pause. And I've been there. After my divorce, I was so emotionally distraught. I ended up as a single mom. It was, there was a lot of public shaming for me having, in my culture, divorces weren't as normal back when I got divorced. They're becoming more common now. And so I had to really put everything on hold and take care of my emotional health. I didn't date for a long time. I was just kind of debriefing myself from everything that had happened, my involvement in the whole process, the things where I had done things wrong, because blaming him didn't help me, because it was still the same me and I would still keep attracting the same stuff. So I spent several years just taking care of my emotional health. So be honest with yourself. If you're unsure, ask a close family member or friend that you trust. Just say, hey, look, I'm not going to get upset. I need you to tell me the truth. Don't sugarcoat this. I need you to tell me if you think that I'm emotionally healthy enough to date. And if you're not, absolutely no shame in the game, okay? Get some therapy, get some coaching. Digital products can help. I have a Basic Babe bundle that is life-changing for situations like that. I have linked it in the description box. I'm also affiliated with BetterHelp. I have personally used them for therapy through different points in my marriage. So they offer 10% off their monthly packages. They offer online email support, chat support, one-on-one sessions with counselors and therapists. And I think they're in over 50 countries. So they're in a lot of countries. And they are also linked below. My link will get you 10% off. So there are resources for you, but please be honest with yourself or ask a family member. Number 2 question number 2 check. Do I understand relationship dynamics? The word dynamic is really important here, because you can absolutely choose the right guy and you can have the best intentions and you can show up in a moment and be running boy energy in your body, and he's going to be really repelled by your boy energy because he already has boy energy. He has male energy. He has masculine energy. You can have masculine energy too. I have a lot of masculine energy and I love my masculine energy. But if I bring that in front of my husband, he's not going to be like wanting to take me, you know, to the bedroom and tear my clothes off, right? He's not going to be feeling romantic. So I'm very aware of my boy energy and where I use it. Like I use it here on YouTube with you guys. So that's a healthy way for me to use that without throwing it at him. So do you understand relationship dynamics? That's the second check that I want you to do, because it doesn't matter if Prince Charming himself shows up, honey. If you don't get this, you're going to self-sabotage it. Number 3 check that I want you to do. Do I know what I desire and need in our relationship? Do you know what your personal values are? Do you know what things you absolutely can't stand for because they are deal breakers for you? Now, I think most women sort of know this, but in the Western culture, I see women going for the wrong things. So this is a big one. There's a lot of boy energy in the Western society. So a lot of women are choosing mates with boy energy and not with girl energy, okay? I'm using different terminology today instead of masculine and feminine, because sometimes it's nice to switch it up, because our brain, if it keeps hearing the same thing over and over again, it doesn't relate to it in the same way. So I try to do this. I'm going to pause this and go get my drink. I forgot my my water, and then I'll run through the rest of it. Okay, I'm back. I just put body lotion on so I can open it. I feel like this company should probably pay me by this point, because I'm always drinking them and all of my followers go and like try to find these. They're so amazing. Unfortunately, I can't open it right now. Okay, I'm sorry, I got my life sorted and it says think positive. So this is definitely made for me. Okay, so what were we talking about? So we did the 3 checks. If these 3 checks, if you pass these 3 checks, then I want to share with you the number 3 reasons that relationships fail, that I believe that relationships fail. Women seem to think that relationships fail because they chose the wrong guy. They think that they chose Dirty John, or they think that something's wrong with him, or that today's men are feminine, or blah, 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 all the stuff, right? That is actually not the reason that relationships fail. Another comment that someone had recently made on one of my videos was that she thinks rotational dating is not good because if they get engaged, then relationship will fail. The truth is, if the United States would have the highest marriage success rate if that was true, because people take the longest in this country, it seems like, to decide if the right partner is the right partner, right? So that's actually not true. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter whether you knew the guy for 2 weeks or 10 years. If you don't understand these 3 things that I'm about to share with you, there's very little chance for your relationship. I got engaged in 2 weeks, married in 2 months, happily married for 13 years, and getting more and more in love because I know how relationship dynamics work, right? So you can spend 10 years getting to know someone, have a freaking container issue the month after, and screw it all up. So let's talk about these. Number 3 reasons that relationships fail these days. Number 1, lack of relationship skills. Number 1, lack of relationship skills. So this is something that used to get passed down generation to generation. Our mothers, sisters, cousins, and grandmothers taught us this. I was taught this in my childhood, but because of the whole immigration break kind of thing that women in my mom's generation went through, where they were the first generation immigrants to the United States, and then I was the first generation born here, I saw the reverse playing out in my parents. And so I made the same mistake, right, before in my previous marriage. So number 1 thing is lack of relationship skills. You can have the perfect guy in front of you and you will screw it up if you don't know relationship skills. So it doesn't matter how long you spend time with him. It's this. 2, you don't know how to choose a mate. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of boy energy in the Western culture. So women are choosing mates the same way that men have evolved to choose mates. And that's not native to us. It's not normal for us. It's not indicative of a long-term success in marriage, in parenting, in long-term happiness. So that's number 2. And these are things that I teach you guys in the modern rotational course and all my other courses, my relationship courses. Number 3, this one is massive, ladies. Listen to this one, okay? Container issue. So if you're new to my channel and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, container issue is when you have worthiness issues inside of you, self-esteem issues, and the right thing shows up, you self-sabotage it. Guys, you won't even believe. Oh my God. So I have had thousands of women go through my programs in the last 5 years, all over the planet. I think over 100 in some countries are now represented as students in my work. And I've had hundreds of private one-on-one clients. We've had so many engagements, so many marriages. We've had so many separated couples that have gone together, right? And the number one thing that shows up is container issue. So the right guy, it's like the guy from your love list, the guy that you have been praying for, dreaming about your entire life shows up, you are more likely to screw that up. Women will start having all kinds of issues, like they'll be bored with him because they're used to struggle life, or they'll take all the positive things he's doing and turn it into negative things. Like the things that women come up with, and luckily because I'm coaching them, they're going through my programs, I'm able to point this out and they are like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. Why am I sabotaging it? So the real work, the real inner work starts after the engagement. After you get the thing that you want, watch yourself start sabotaging it. So these are the reasons that relationships fail. Nothing to do with time. Nothing to do with time. All right. So now to the main juiciness that I promised you guys in this video. Okay, what to look for in a man. Okay, so number one quality is he desires marriage. How do you know that he desires marriage? He doesn't shy away from the word marriage. He doesn't freak out if you talk about marriage. He doesn't say things like women who want marriage are desperate, none of that stuff. Here's the key thing though. He has been preparing for marriage for at least 5 years, probably even more, but at least 5 years. And of course, this depends on his age. So how did I know that my husband, when I met him, I was 27 and he was 36. So how did I know that he was ready for marriage? One, he had been married before and he was divorced. Two, he had been actively dating and telling all his friends and family members that he's serious about marriage. And here's the key one. He had a master's degree preparing for marriage, right? Preparing to provide. He had bought a house and was halfway through paying it off. He had a paid off car. He had assets in the bank, and he had prepared for the woman coming in, for me coming in, right? Now, depending on age, this is going to be different. For some of my clients, when they're rotational dating, the guy hasn't bought a house, but he has money for a down payment and he has a salary where he can make the mortgage on his own. So you see, he's been preparing. So a guy that's been going to school, getting his credentials. Another thing with my husband was that he had a master's degree, a very good job, and he also had a real estate license. Like ding, ding, ding. Like, okay, he's like thinking backup plans. He's thinking if something happens, like I want side income. I want to have more money to be able to provide, right? So that was one of them. One of my clients that just got engaged, her husband, she's engaged, her fiance owns a property that he lives in. He owns a second rental property. And then he's also now buying her a house. So he's buying her something that he has the money for a down payment. He has, money for the mortgage. So, but this guy's a little bit older. He's 49 years old, I believe. So do you see, like, depending on age, right? If someone's 28, he may have enough for a down payment, but maybe he doesn't have the house yet. That's okay. But you need to know, watch his actions and the things, they will reveal this to yourself anyways. Another one of my clients that got engaged, she was saying, Mina, when do we ask for documents? Are you going to do it? Am I going to do it? And I said to her, babe, we can ask for his documents, but I have a feeling that he's going to volunteer this information because most of the guys do. They've been waiting and preparing to provide, and now the woman has showed up. And so what she's noticing is like he's slowly sharing with her the salary, the all the information. So here's a side note about this. A guy who has a nice car that he bought for himself, but doesn't have any assets, he doesn't have a house, he doesn't have a good career, he's compensating for the fact that he's not ready to provide by flashing a nice car. So my husband was driving a brand new Toyota Camry that he had paid off, he bought in cash. So he wasn't driving a BMW, but like he had it paid off, right? He bought me a car in cash the minute I was pregnant, because we realized that, with my son, with my 5-year-old at the time, and with the baby, we would need a bigger car. So he wasn't driving a Mercedes for himself, but he had money to buy me a car in cash, right? He had money to buy himself a car in cash. So don't look for the flat. It's not about what he can provide for himself. It's about what can he provide for his family, right? That's a provider. So that's number one, that he has already been preparing. It's not like a second thought, like, oh, you showed up, now I have to go get a career. No, he's not ready. Are men that aren't ready bad men? No, they're just not ready, right? Like my son is almost 17. He's not bad. He's just not ready. He's still growing. He's still getting his education. He had to choose a college major, and he gave it so much thought. He kept asking and researching for salaries, because he's like, Mom, I want to be able to provide. I don't want my future kids worried about money. He's already planning. He's 17, almost 17. You get it? So that's how that works. Number two thing that you should be looking for in a man is emotional maturity / good mental health. Now, remember how I told you in the beginning that if you are not emotionally healthy, this isn't going to work? The reason is that emotionally healthy, like healthy men don't want to be with unhealthy women. So everything in nature is attracted towards health. It moves towards health. It wants health, right? So if you, the women that's come on my channel and they're like, I can't see them, where are these men? They're telling me information about themselves. What they're saying is, I'm not healthy and therefore I can't see them. Those men are everywhere. So when women come to work with me, they are saying the same thing. Mina, I can't even get one guy. Where are you talking about a rotation? And yes, I do give them some places that they can look, but most of them are looking in those places. They've already been, doing all that stuff. Within second or third coaching call, how come they have a rotation of 4 or 5 people? What changed? Do I have some magic secret place where I'm hiding these men? No, they were already there, everywhere. Why couldn't my clients see them? Because my clients weren't in an emotional state. They had belief systems like, I'm a single mom, so where can I find healthy men? I was a single mom. I wasn't saying I'm a single mom. So I was just saying I'm a woman looking, right? Where should I put myself? Don't stop putting all these barriers. There's women that say, but Mina, all men cheat. So da 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 da. Okay, you're not healthy because you are using words like all, always, never. That's not emotionally healthy. Where in nature is it all, always, never? There's always a dynamic, right? All men cheat. Where the hell did you come up with that? That's not emotional intelligence. All men do not cheat. Healthy men don't cheat. So when you say these kind of things, you're revealing information about your emotional health. So you're not going to see them. Even if you did, you're not going to like them and they're not going to like you because you guys are not a good match yet. But as you start evolving and doing this work, you'll see that they are literally everywhere, everywhere. Okay. Number 3 is that his energy is constantly and consistently coming towards you. This doesn't mean he's attached to your hip, right? Like not in an emotionally unhealthy way, but it does mean that his words match his actions. In fact, his actions speak louder than his words, right? So he's planning consistent dates with you. He is leading the relationship. He is looking out for you during dates. He's asking for your opinion. What kind of restaurants do you like? Where would you like da 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 da? A lot of women that come to feminine energy work will get mad at men if they ask them what kind of a restaurant they like to go. They'll think he's not masculine. Why is he asking me? Healthy masculine men use feminine women as an oracle to guide themselves, right? So if he loves you and you know how to get that gut level reaction, even if he's not there yet, a healthy man is going to consider your opinions. He might say, hey, do you like Thai food or Chinese food? Hey, what part of town do you want to meet in? Like, he may say those things. So if you get offended by things like that, refer back to number one, am I emotionally healthy, right? So healthy men are not attracted to boy energy unless they are the 10% of the men that are attracted to, that are naturally feminine essence, right? Then they are. But 90% are masculine essence. So they're going to be attracted to feminine essence beings, right? They're also, they don't want to put themselves in the presence of people that say things like, all men are bad, healthy men don't exist, or all men cheat. I don't like to put myself in field of people that are unhealthy like that either and make those kind of comments. Like, I might smile and nod, but I'm not going to hang out with them. So it's the same thing with healthy men. Like, they don't want to hang out with people like that. They don't want to engage in debates like that. They don't want to be disrespected in that way, right? So that is, oh my God, this turned into a whole masterclass. If you want to learn more, check out the Modern Dating Rotational course. It is linked below. If you just want to start your inner work, you're like, I'm ready to do this, Mina, I want to just get started. The Basic Babe bundle is life-changing. It has Arouse His Love Masterclass that gets that gut level reaction. It has 17 different meditations that you can use. It has a law of attraction, putting yourself in that positive mindset masterclass, and it has the high vibration course. So you can start rewiring your belief systems and all of those limiting beliefs that you may have picked up in your conditioning. So all of that, including my BetterHelp link to get 10% off and my email. So if you want to inquire about coaching, you can do that. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.